Merrimack TV content may no longer be available on YouTube. To continue watching our programs, please download the Merrimack TV app from your device's app store. Programs may also be available at merrimacktv.com.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, good evening, everybody. Today is May 21st, 2025. It is currently 7:07 p.m. This is the Merrimack Parks and Recreations Committee, and welcome. And my name is Tracy McGraw. I am a chairperson.
My name is Rick Grenier, and I'm the Merrimack Youth Association rep and vice chair.
Josh Toms, committee member.
Brian Landrigan, committee member.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Murphy. I'm the town council representative.
Naomi Halter, school board representative.
Michelle Creswell, member and secretary.
And Matt Kasparis, director of Parks and Rec. And as you can tell, I'm battling a cold here, so we're going to try and keep it short tonight.
Sounds like a challenge. Got it. All right. So the first thing is has everyone had a chance? And I know, Brian, you have not had a chance to look at these. These are the minutes. Excuse me, everyone. There you go. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting in April? Okay, if we've all had a chance to take a look at the minutes, if there are any changes. All right, do we have a motion to accept the minutes from last month? Great, Brian, second. Thank you, Rick. And all who were present last month in favor of accepting the minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, great, thank you. All right, so Merrimack Dog Park, we were talking a little bit before this. We need to set up a cleanup day. And I know that Heather is working on a cleanup day. It looks like people are picking up some of the old broken toys and tossing them out, so we greatly appreciate that. But we definitely need a cleanup day, and we need a hole filling in day. There is one hole that I believe has some Japanese gardens coming out of it right now. They're so deep. But these are ankle and leg breaker holes. And we have asked people that when your dog digs a hole to please fill the hole. And now we need to get in there and really tear up the ground and fill up some of these holes. So please follow the Merrimack Parks and Recs, or also go out to the Merrimack Dog Park page on Facebook, which is Friends of the Merrimack Dog Park, and pay attention to dates that hopefully will be coming up soon if the rain ever stops. Of course, right now, while the rain is getting the ground all wet, it is a good time for us to start digging and fixing holes. So it may happen sooner rather than later. Other than that, we just got the water turned back on at the dog park, which also want to remind everybody to please do not leave empty jugs inside either dog park side. Once the jug is empty, either take it home or throw it out. You can bring it back refilled, but leaving them inside is just a toy for the dogs. And contrary to popular belief, it is not a free-for-all of whatever's inside the dog park. So please, this is a safety thing for the dogs. They don't need to eat plastic. The other thing is just make sure that you're picking up after your pup. No more presents. And other than that, we're just keep an eye out for the website for any dates for cleanup. Matt, did you have any updates on the dog park? Okay. All right. So, sorry. Director's report, Matt.
I know. We'll see how we do here. Real quick, so on the budget, obviously, when we met last time, it was right before when council was going to meet. And what I had expected to happen did happen. The biggest impact really was the elimination of the weekend park attendance at Wasserman. We have some concerns that might create some problems, and, we'll see how that goes. We are trying to work with IT to see if we can't get internet access down to the beach so that I can at least put in security cameras. We were actually working on it today, so we'll see how that goes, but that's our hope, at least to give that aspect so we can kind of, if people are vandalizing or whatever, at least I'll have recordings of it and go from there. But we'll see. During that council meeting, it had come up from one council member about potentially, trying to eliminate the 4th of July parade. It actually got discussed in, I think it was the union leader or one of those, and I've actually had a couple of the bands in the parade call me and go, hey, what's going on? We heard it was getting canceled. Well, no. 4th of July is on, and I'll talk about 4th in a second, but it did not get get cut, so 4th of July is still on as scheduled, which, again, I'll get to in a second. We're about 4 weeks away from camp opening, and so we're just out straight right now. Our regular Natticook is like 93% full. Our teen camp is 100% full. Our theater camp is 80, almost 90% full. So just lots of details, chasing people for payments and medical forms and all that good stuff. But 4 weeks out, and we're getting there. We're hoping to finish hiring this week. I've got 2 last counselor positions to fill, and I've got 3 applicants that we're trying to schedule interviews right now. So we're hopefully going to be done there. And then, so camp's looking good shape there. We did open up registration for after school for next year already. And as we've discussed earlier this winter, we are expanding our program to all 4 elementary, the 3 elementary schools as well as the upper elementary. And so we've already got, I think, 15 kids signed up between the 4 schools. And so, obviously we're expecting more to come, as we get going forward. And I'm not going to get into the logistics of that, but obviously after school will now cover K to 6 instead of K to 4, which is great. And so we're looking pretty good there. And all details are on the website. So summer concerts will be starting Thursday, June 26th. Again, we have moved to Thursdays this year. Less competition with other neighboring towns. We are running through August 21st. And concerts begin at 6 o'clock this year, as they always have. As I said, 4th of July is a go. We have our July 3rd concert in the park with the Concert Association on Thursday night. And then on Friday, the High School Roadrunners Boosters Clubs has their 5K road race at the high school that morning at 8 o'clock. The Rotary Club is doing their pancake breakfast from 8 to 11. The parade begins at 1 o'clock. Near the Common Shopping Plaza, travels down Daniel Webster to Babusick Lake Road, and then down O'Gara Drive to the high school. We are taking registration now for floats. There is no cost to participate. It's just filling out a simple information form. As of this morning, we already had 31 groups. And actually, the last one I got was we've been notified that Governor Ayotte will be here. So again, details are on the website. And then lastly, we have the fireworks display on the night of the 4th at the high school. And we'll have DJ Darren Roy doing music and games from 7 to 9. We've got, I think, 8 food trucks signed up at this point. So plenty of food options as well. So we're looking great there. And then I had mentioned previously there's a new program we're starting with in partnership with the Lions Club. We're going to do a kind of a joint event. Lions International has a program called Strides for Diabetes Awareness. And so, excuse me, we're going to do basically a Strides walk this fall. it'll turn into, like, the end of the walk will be like a health fair essentially. And then right after the health fair, we'll lead into our movie night in the park. Over the month of April, we had done a weekly bracket challenge for our movie selection. We narrowed it down to, it's going to end up being Moana 2, which edged out Minecraft movie by 3 votes. And so we are looking at Saturday, September 13th. The nice thing about September is obviously the problem with like a July movie is it doesn't get dark until 8:30, which means you really can't start till 9. And if you're showing a kids movie, it doesn't really work that well because they don't stay. So September, we can start at like 7:30, if not even a little bit earlier than that. And so it works out pretty well. So more on that as we get closer to September. Actually, one of the cool things, we actually were able to get an intern this summer from Plymouth State, whose internship focus is basically going to be special events management. So she's going to help me with 4th of July and National Night Out and this Strides Walk and all that kind of stuff. Take some things off of my plate too, which will be good. Last year, we had talked about, hold on one second. We had talked about we've talked really for a couple of years about the kind of kayak rack slot program. And I think we most recently talked about it about a year ago. And it's been kind of slow, steady progress. We had to get town manager on board. We had to get Primax, which is our insurance carrier, on board. And then we had to get town's legal counsel on board. And so we finally gotten those 3 pieces. And so we're finally moving forward. It's going to the council on June 12th at that meeting. So hopefully they will agree to adopt it. But essentially the idea is this program is residents can rent a slot in the rack that they can leave their boat for the season at Wasserman Park without having to, they chain it to a center post and rather than having to cart it back and forth. We think there's going to be a lot of interest in this. And so we're also kind of potentially looking at future expansion, maybe Veterans Park near the boat ramp, maybe Horseshoe Pond, we're still kind of thinking about the other things. But ironically, I had gotten a call from the Rotary Club last week, and they just got a big grant from Rotary International that said, we want to spend on Parks and Rec. Have you heard about this kayak rack program that like Amherst and other towns do? I said, by chance I have, because we're working on it. So I think Rotary's going to take an active involvement, so maybe they'll help us buy a second rack versus waiting for the next scout to build us one. So that's still kind of up in the air, but like I said, they have some money to spend. So we're hoping to get this, if we get approval on the 12th of June, hoping to get it in line for by the end of June. And then depending on how quickly we can mobilize with Rotary, potentially do more later this season. If not, certainly for next year. But ideally, it'd be something like Memorial Day to Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day for a season. You pay a flat fee to have your slot, So more to come on that. But again, we're moving forward to June 12th with the council, and we'll see what they say.
Okay.
And then lastly, or 2 last things here. As you recall, Brian had reached out or had talked at previous meetings about kind of like a walking program and kind of highlighting some of our town parks and conservation areas and whatever. Took us a little while to get going, but we finally got organized. We opened up registration, so basically it's a monthly walking program over the next 6 months, just as a way to, again, to kind of explore parks and open space areas in town. We've actually had a pretty good response. We've got about 10 or 12 for each of the walks so far already, with just kind of 1 email blast. So free program. There is some flyers up front here for it. We called it Footprints and Fresh Air. Just kind of catchy, and like I said, we seem to have some decent interest in it. So the first one's coming up
May 31st.
next week, yeah. And then lastly, and then I'll stop talking, Peyton Connolly, who had done the shed at the shade structure at the dog park, I got his invitation to his court of honor which is going to be Saturday, June 28th at St. James at 1 o'clock. So if anybody, I'm pretty sure I can make it, but if anybody else can go, just let
What's
me
the time
know.
on that
So in
again?
case, okay, just in case I don't make it, but
What time?
1 o'clock. But I'm planning to be there for that ceremony for him. So, and that's all I got.
All right, great. Thanks, Matt. Take a drink and calm your throat. All right. The 4th of July, if I'm allowed to, you could kick me if I'm not allowed to say this, but I'm going to say, I'll start. The 4th of July parade, yeah, there were a lot of questions. There were a lot of questions online about should we keep it, should we not keep it. There were some concerns that we had, of course, with contracts that we had with people, the possibility of losing people because we would cancel. But the end result, and I give a lot of credit to town council, and especially, and I'm going to give a shout out to Paul McCallie. They're not going to let this go, because this is a community project. This is a community event that brings us all together. It celebrates our country. It celebrates the red, white, and blue. And this is something that we're not going to let go of. We start letting go of these little things, and we're no longer a community. We're just a bunch of houses that happen to live in the same zip code. And I read the article. I read the information that came out. Thank you very much to our town manager and to the rest of the town council that agreed with that. So our 4th of July is going on. And that being said, please come out, please participate, please have fun and enjoy everything that's out there. We want to bring everybody together. Thank you. All right, organizational reports. Rick, MYA, please.
Thank you. Not much to report. However, baseball, softball, lacrosse, soccer, and golf are all in season. Did you get those, Michelle? Correct. And as always, if any parents are looking for additional information, it's at merrimackyouthassociation.com. That's it at this time, Tracy.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And Michelle, the reason why he repeated it is because I messed it up on one of the minutes that I did.
I was just thinking about both of you, and we don't realize it. We often just ramble, and somebody's trying to jot it down, so.
I don't know, we type pretty fast now. All right, so Senior Citizens Club, Miss Maureen is not here. Hopefully she's someplace having a good time. School Board, Naomi, welcome back.
Hello. The school district is really busy in the month of May and June. Lots of schools are having all sorts of celebrations and culminating events. There are art shows and there are concerts. So if you are a parent of a child in school, make sure you're checking out those newsletters from your school, because there's all kinds of stuff going on. Sort of district-wide, some dates coming up are June 14th will be graduation for the high school. The last day of school for all of the other kids who aren't graduating is Wednesday, June 18th. One note I have for an event that's coming up is the high school theater department is doing Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella on May 30th at 6 p.m. and May 31st at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Tickets are $10 at the door. And I wanted to share a couple of exciting things that students have been up to over the last month. And this is not an inclusive list. I've had like a lot of things come through my email inbox, but these are some that stood out. Last weekend, the student council at the high school put on a senior citizens dinner. They served and they played music, and I heard a lot of good feedback from the senior citizens who attended. That's something that they had done before COVID that they revived again this year. It had been on pause, and so we're excited for them for that. Our Granite State Challenge team on PBS last week on Thursday night won the Granite State Challenge for the third year in a row. Merrimack is the only town to have done this in New Hampshire. if anyone doesn't know, Granite State Challenge is like a trivia quiz show. It's a lot of fun. And then at our school board meeting on Monday, we recognized a lot, I think it was about 15 or 20 students who have received the New Hampshire Seal of Biliteracy. And we also honored the robotics team at the high school because they won a lot of medals at a national championship down in Texas recently. So we're really proud of the things that students are doing in the Merrimack School District.
Nice. Thank you very much, Naomi. Matthew Brown is our student representative. He is not here tonight. My guess is he's taking part in one of the many activities that are going on at the school. So, Mackenzie, last but not least, for Town Council.
Town Council, a few updates to add on to Rick's report about the MYA. At our last meeting, we approved increasage of the signage to help with some of the costs so that they can flatline their costs in their budget. And there will be new signage at the Bishop Field as well as the Reed's Ferry Field that will not block the view or obstruct any views. The signage will be high on the field, so that will help that. At our last meeting, we also approved the town is working on the FE turnpike widening project. So New Hampshire DOT has agreed to put the sidewalks on the northbound side of the Wire Road Bridge. The town will be responsible for maintaining those, but Paul McCallie will have to sign an agreement with New Hampshire DOT on that, and the town council approved that at our last meeting. A few other updates. The Boy Scout that presented at our last meeting, the one that's going to do his Eagle Scout project at the Horse Hill Nature Preserve, is coming before the town council Thursday night this week to present to the town council. June 26th is the longest day, so that Alzheimer's event, it raises money for people with Alzheimer's. That's going to be in the Our Lady of Mercy parking lot, as it has been from year to year. Bob Bergen, who's lived in Merrimack for quite a long time, has overseen that project and puts his heart and soul into that event. Has a ton of volunteers throughout the day. It's a really great event. It brings our town all together again, which is really important. So we're excited about that. And tomorrow night, we'll also hopefully be approving the town Rotary is donating $930 that will go toward the scholarship fund for camps over the summer. So hopefully the council will approve that tomorrow night, as they have in the past. What else? I think that's, and then the last thing is we have our town council goals meeting on June 24th from 9 to 4. So it's our every year retreat we hold.
Okay.
So that's an update from the town council.
Thank you. You guys are busy. Okay. I'm going to go with no for comments from the public. And the committee have any other further comments that they want to share? Questions? Concerns? Okay. So our next meeting is June 18th. There's going to be no meeting in July, and then we're back on for August 20th. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second. Okay. All in favor? Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 7:29.